which doesn't matter. So we're gonna go with newspaper,
House.
burglarize, night, treasure,
Bandit.
stab,
Light.
dark,
Mother.
human shield.
Sometimes when you give tests like this, you learn more than you was hoping for, and I reckon that ain't always the best thing. But
It
I
was a
guess
joke.
maybe it explains a thing or two about your predicament.
It was a joke, man.
Okay, now I got a few statements. I want you to tell me how much they sound like something you'd say. First one. Conflict just ain't in my nature. I ain't given to relying on others for support. I'm always fixin' to be the center of attention. I'm slow to embrace new ideas. I charge in to deal with my problems head on. Almost done here. What do you say you have a look at this? Tell me what you see.
Ink. Oh, that's not an option. Broken chain.
Okay. How about this one? Last.
It looks like two gnomes high-fiving.
Well, that's all she... I don't have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results. See if it all seems right to you.
Alright, so this is where we tag our skills now. I'm gonna go through the skills real quick. Barter, obviously, it's... You can sell for higher and buy for less. Energy weapons increases your effectiveness with energy weapons, as in like laser rifles, plasma rifles, and stuff like that. Explosives increases your effectiveness with explosive weapons, which are like missile launchers, Fat Man, dynamites, grenades, mine, a lot of that. Guns is like your basic guns, like uses bullets. Alright, explosives go boom, guns use actual bullets, and energy weapons use batteries and stuff like that. That's how you can tell them apart. Lock picking increases your, like, in increments of 25, 50, 75, and 100. You, at each one of those increments, you can unlock one step higher. It goes from very easy to easy to I don't think there's a normal, but there's a hard and very hard. Medicine increases the effectiveness of your stim packs, medical supplies, and stuff like that. I don't use a lot of medical supplies except for stim packs themselves. I usually eat a lot of stuff, but basically you heal more through stim packs with the medicine, and it also increases the effectiveness of like buff out and stuff like that. Melee weapons, obviously, it increases your effectiveness with melee weapons. That's about as simple as that. Repair allows you to repair your weapons with other weapons, and there's a useful perk called jury rigging later on that lets you repair weapons with weapons that are sort of similar. They don't have to be the exact type of weapon like it does initially. Now, science is like lockpick. It works in increments of 25, 50, 75, 100, and instead of unlocking a box or something like that, they are used on computers to hack into them. And hacking is pretty easy in this game, but a lot of people get confused by how to hack. Sneak, obviously, sneaking, being undetected while walking around and stuff. And if you shoot somebody or hit somebody and stuff like that while you're sneaking, you get a critical hit, like, it does a lot more damage. And then speech Sometimes you can just talk to people and you can tell them to back down and they'll actually listen to you. It just, you can, they have certain, like, speech checks in Fallout 3 had percentages, like how much of percentage chance you have of making, um, like getting it right. But in this one they have specific, you have to have a certain rating, and speech is used a lot. Um, Survival is the same thing as medicine, except it's using food and drinks. You get healed more from consumable items that aren't medical supplies. And then unarmed is just using your fists, brass knuckles, power fists. It just does more with that. Now, I personally like to get guns because that is by far the most common thing in the game. You can get energy weapons, like everyone gets normally gets kind of like a weapon and then other stuff. Energy weapons is a good choice. Explosives is probably the worst choice out of them, but you know, if you want to go with explosives, you can, but you're not going to really rely on explosives that much. You're not going to find them as much as you would with guns and energy weapons. Energy weapons are good, but you don't really get the good energy weapons until later on in the game, and guns are just there everywhere. I think they're more fun to use personally. That's just kind of a personal matter, but whatever. Lockpick, you see a lot of things that can be lockpicked. And normally I go with science, but if you go with science, it's like a counterpart to lockpick. Because usually if you can't pick a lock, there is actually a computer nearby that allows you to open that lock. But in most cases, if there is no computer, there's still going to be a lockpick. So lockpick is easier to go through the game with. And then repair. This allows you to sell a lot more stuff. You don't really need barter if you have repair. This can take weight. Weight's not really an issue if you have repair, because you can clear up your inventory by repairing your weapons and armor. And there's that. Okay, but also when you're picking your tags, you can also get, like, when you leave the house, Doc gives you some supplies. Alright, and based on what you tag, you can get different rewards. So, like, if you pick lockpick like I did, you will get 12 bobby pins instead of 6 initially when he gives you bobby pins and stuff like that. I picked guns, and guns, if you pick guns, you get 43 9mm bullets when he gives you a 9mm gun right off the bat instead of 22. Normally he will give you 22. Explosives. Okay, now these are stuff like I don't have. These are the other perks you can get. Explosives, you get 8 dynamite. But that's only if you don't pick energy weapons or guns. And that's a huge difference. Alright, and then energy weapons, you can get a laser pistol if you haven't chose guns. Melee weapons, you get a straight razor no matter what you chose. And then unarmed, you can get boxing gloves as long as you haven't tagged melee weapons. These are just, slight rewards for picking these things, but they're definitely not going to influence you on your choices. The choices are going to be how you want to play the game, how you specifically want to go about playing the game. And this is how I want to make my character, and then the bonuses are just kind of extra.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you. I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
Alright, these are where we choose traits. You can choose them or not choose them. It's up to you. They have a disability as along with their abilities, their perks and stuff like that. Most people kind of go with Wild Wasteland because it's so vague and it doesn't seem like it has a downside. It unleashes the most bizarre and silly elements of the post apocalyptic America, not for the faint of heart or the serious of temperament. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but you can. You the main reason people choose Wild Wasteland is because you can get an alien pistol at the end, like at this one area of the game. But if you don't choose it, you also get this amazing energy weapon. It's a special Gauss rifle. Now, there was only one Gauss rifle in Fallout 3, and it was amazing. It was a very powerful weapon, and it's still very powerful in this game. But you get a unique one if you do not choose Wild Wasteland. Um, so you have Built to Destroy, basically the flamer that burns twice as bright, burns half as long. All weapons have a +3 chance of to critically hit, but equipment condition decays 15% faster. This may seem like the trade-off is way more than the benefit, but this is actually one of the best traits you can choose. Now, if you choose repair, then you will have no problem with this at all, because you can repair. And when you get jury rigging, this trade-off is pretty much absent at that point. Um, if you get Raul or Raul, whatever, he's a ghoul later on in the game you can get as a companion. If you get him as a companion, he will he has a perk. Like, companions give you perks, and his perk is weapons decay 50% slower. So the trade-off to that doesn't seem that bad anymore after that. All right. Fast shots. While using guns and energy weapons, you fire 20% more quickly, but your shots are 20% less accurate. This is okay if you're going to use like SMGs and stuff like that at mid to close combat, but I don't really use SMGs or anything like that. I like using lever action stuff far away at first, and then if I get into it, pull out some sort of weapon. And apparently my friend is playing a game. Four Eyes. While wearing any type of glasses, you have +1 perception. Without glasses, you have -1 perception. So basically, whatever you put your perception at isn't what you put your perception at. But basically, this is probably the easiest thing to get because, armor, while it is great, you can literally go through this whole game without wearing armor. So if you take a little face protection off and replace it with eyeglasses, you'll be fine. Trust me. So I'm actually gonna get Four Eyes, and then good-natured. You're good-natured at heart, more prone to solving problems with your mind than violence. You get +5 to every secondary skill, basically, and then you get -5 to every combat skill. This is okay if you want to go with a diplomatic character, but let's face it, this is the wasteland. There's going to be some sort of fighting you're going to have to get into. So, whatever. Your melee and unarmed attacks do more damage but less critical hit damage. Yeah, that's pretty much only good if you expecting to go melee or unarmed. It's not like if you're doing a role play type thing, not actual be serious playing for fun, whatever. This is pretty much a really crappy perk. Kamikaze, you have +10 action points, but your reckless nature causes you to have a -2 damage threshold. Damage threshold is basically your resistance, not your resistance to like rad poisoning and stuff, but to bullets. Um, this is an okay trade-off, but action points aren't that necessary anymore. Like, if you like to spam VATS crazy person, I'm pretty sure you can wait 5 seconds outside of that to let your action points recharge. Now in Fallout 2, this would be an amazing perk. This would be like unstoppable. Action points were like everything in Fallout 2. And hopefully I plan to do a walkthrough of that later, like a long time from now. Anyways, you got loose cannon. From frag grenades to throwing spears, you throw weapons 30% faster at the cost of 25% less range.